All right, we've got the recording going. We've got Jeff with us from Vantage Apparel. We've got about 8 of us here this morning. We might have a few more that'll jump in, and we will record this so that we can put it on our YouTube channel later. But with that, I will turn it over to you, Jeff. You can get started.
All right. Thanks, Melissa, and welcome, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jeff Kranz. I'm with Vantage Apparel. For those of you that don't know me, here's my contact information. I like to make it pretty simple for you guys. Jeff K at VantageApparel.com, 732-850-8903 as well. Hold that up one more time. We've got about 20 minutes worth of information here. We're going to hit deco, case study. We're going to talk about what's selling now, some things that we see that are popular. So if those of you guys maybe that aren't familiar with Vantage or are familiar with Vantage, going to be a little something for everybody here. We're also going to wrap up with one of our new pop-up stores, which we basically take a bunch of Vantage product or Sanmar, Alpha, and SNS, and we build a website for you guys, and we're able to do one-offs and things like that as well. But we'll get into that. So let's start with deco. For basically the better part of the last 3 decades, we have been voted best decorator in the industry. And as you can see there, that is actually an embroidered logo, one of the competition pieces that we submitted, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Here's another great example of the quality decoration that we do. Again, that is all embroidered. Very cool to see. We've got a couple of examples of these on our website as well. But always like to start and highlight those, especially now with the pandemic and everything that is going on. Obviously, we don't want anyone to struggle through this, but we have seen a number of opportunities pick up in terms of contract decoration. So not only do we decorate our own stuff, but we also decorate other people's goods as well, other suppliers. We have 3 facilities across the country. Avenel, New Jersey is the headquarters. We do all of our 14 different decoration methods in-house there. We also have an embroidery facility in St. Louis, Missouri, which I know a lot of you are familiar with here in the Midwest. And then we do have a facility out in Santa Ana, California. So we're strategically placed across the country. If you do want to do contract work with us, we're about a day shipment in from Alpha, SNS, Sanmar, all of the big wholesalers. And you get free inbound freight when you send those to our facility as well. We are, I believe, a drop down on Sanmar. We're a part of their PSST programs. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to have consistency across the board and across the country for decoration. So highlight a couple of cool embroidery pieces there. Wanted to highlight another couple of pieces as well. Our Omega Polo, that's our bread and butter. We do offer a couple of specialty samples, which I'll send all these flyers to Melissa that we talk about in terms of products to her so she can distribute to you guys as well. But the Omega, this is our bread and butter again. You're $11.99 net for this piece through the end of the year. A couple of cool things that you can get on this piece, on this actual item, if you wanted to do one of those specialty samples. We do offer private labeling, which gives you more of like a custom look without that custom minimum. When we use the term custom with a lot of these decoration methods, it's not 10,000 pieces that you have to produce. We basically run 72 of those labels, and then we adhere them to any garment that can take a heat transfer. But this piece in particular, 21 different colors, up to a 6XL in certain colors and sizes. So laser etch logo there, screen print on the back, heat transfer. All of this comes as you see it here for our specialty samples. Those are all buy one, get one free. So if you want those for your showroom or to send to a client, I always think that's a good way to highlight not only the apparel itself, but also the decoration. Our regular samples are also buy one, get one free. All the Vantage and Greg Norman products, any of the name brands that we touch on later, those are available at EQP. But another cool decoration method that we offer is our applique. We'll talk about some case studies here on that in just a moment. Everyone gets real intimidated by applique just because they see this on the front of the garment. They think it's expensive, when in reality, you are all of a $50 setup charge for this and then $6.15 for a run charge. If you were to see this at a Tough Mudder event or any retail shop, sports teams, anything like that, this is going to be a name brand product. It's going to be $100. And that's where I think that negative connotation comes in when it comes to price points. This, as you see it here, is probably mid-30s all in. So even if you sold it for 60 or 65, you're still making a heck of a margin, and it's a very cool retail item. This is our street hoodie, our 33, 40, and 41 for men's and ladies, a pretty popular piece for us. Again, we try to style all of ours after those retail brands that you guys can ask for: Nike, OGO, Under Armour, Patagonia, Lululemon, all that kind of stuff. That's where we take our influences for. So I think this is very much like an Under Armour style of jacket. In terms of single piece opportunities, that's another area that we've seen throughout the pandemic, and actually well prior to that. We get a lot of single piece opportunities. Everybody has been spoiled by Amazon by getting things, one-offs the next day. So we have tried to adapt to that the best we can in our industry. So single piece opportunities for us consist of embroidery, laser etching, and heat transfers for programs. Actually, let me rephrase that. Embroidery and laser etching on anything. Heat transfers have to be for programs because we produce 12 transfers at a time. We also offer one-piece direct-to-garment. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, that's essentially like a screen print, although if you've ever seen a screen print in process, basically we slide the t-shirt on and push it into an inkjet printer, and it kind of comes out the same way. So you can see all of the different colors and shades and gradients we can get in that, done for as few as one piece. We have a next level t-shirt that is part of this offering as well. So if you want something that's a bit more retail, the different options you can pick from in terms of t-shirts are a little bit limited. We need to make sure that the consistency for the logo comes across in everything that we do. So there's only 2 or 3 t-shirts that we offer for this. But keep that in mind. Again, single piece minimums on that. No one wants to have a lot of inventory at this point. It's something that I think everybody has struggled with. So when we get into the pop-up web shops towards the end of this presentation, that's a good way to capitalize on getting new styles, quarterly, doing some different things for the holidays, and again, doing them all at single piece minimum. So there's a lot of different opportunities there. In terms of what's selling, actually, you know what? Let's hang on just for a second. We'll do some case studies first before we get into what's selling. And again, when we talk about different custom things, we can do cool options like custom zipper pulls and not have to do 10,000 pieces of those. We do produce 1,000 of the pulls at one time, but you guys only have to order them in increments of 24. We'll hold on to them. Anything that you guys want to use, whether it's a quarter zip, a jacket, anything like that that has a zipper, this can be attached to. So different shapes. I've seen it in the shield of like UPS or a Dr. Pepper water bottle or like the little Apple icon. There's a lot of different things you can do on that. So that's something kind of fun and different. And as we talk about all these different decoration methods, you can reach out to your local sales rep. You can reach out to me. We can start some virtuals and get the ball rolling on this. A lot of this is hard to sort of imagine on a piece of paper. So that's why we like to offer those specialty samples and things like that, different sales tools to really make sure that you guys have the option to show your clients really what this is going to look like. In terms of some other case studies, I always thought this one was pretty cool. This is from the distributor that does Bud Light, and this is just our game day jacket, our $32.97. They came to us and said, this varsity look really kind of goes after the demographic that they see Bud Light in, the 21 to 27-year-old category. But they had no idea what they wanted to do with it. So they said, listen, it's obviously a varsity jacket. You guys run with it. Set up something that looks fun and different. And this is what we did. This is the only logo that they sent us. So the script logo here on the right chest. We wanted to do something fun like varsity letters. So we just use our applique for that. That's 2 layers. Again, giving it kind of a retro look. Our varsity stripes, again, that custom look for only 24 pieces. And then we did that on the sleeve, which is just a little football, even with the laces and everything else. 82 is from 1982 when Bud Light was founded. So that's something that kind of ties into their heritage too. They ordered about $13,000 worth of this for a gift for some of their clients. So I thought that was kind of cool. Also in that same vein, this is actually a holiday gift that we did probably 2 years ago for the distributor that does MTV. They wanted something unique on this. They actually wanted a mission statement from the CEO somewhere on this piece. We talked about a hang tag. We talked about like a letter in there, but all of those things get thrown away. It really doesn't drive home what they really wanted to achieve with this piece. So what we did instead is screen printed a piece of applique. That's the actual handwriting of the CEO of MTV on that, which is definitely kind of cool and different. They ordered about 900 units of this. We can do this, I believe, for as few as 144 pieces. But when you talk about like a personal touch for a promotional product, this is something that I think people are really going to keep around for a long time. So that's definitely something unique that we can do. A lot of these ideas come from distributors coming to us and just saying, hey, we really don't know what's capable based on what we're getting asked for. So, lean on us. Let us be the experts on this kind of stuff. You guys have enough to worry about. Let us do the hard part for you. We can get you, again, the ideas and the concepts for this, get you pricing and everything else, and we can kind of go from there. So we'll talk about some trends, what's selling now. This is a great, both a great popular item and a piece that we've done a lot of business in over the last 6 or 7 months. This is our Zen pullover, our 3450 and 51, very Patagonia-like, Lululemon-like in the styling. There's a bit of spandex in the garment there, so it's got a nice stretch. It's extremely comfortable. It is, corporate casual, so you can wear these on Zoom calls and still look professional in them. This particular piece really kind of kicked off what was our first big order when the pandemic hit. There was a client here in the Midwest that wanted to do something for a big healthcare service operator that they worked with, and they ended up ordering this about $40,000 worth. And they did different colors because they wanted to signify when somebody walked into a hospital, hey, this is the front desk staff. These are the nurses. These are the doctors. So that every department had a different color. And I thought that was a real creative way, number one, to kind of deliver that message. But two, if you ever run into any inventory issues, that's a way to kind of get around that by, again, having different departments wear different colors.
Hey, Jeff, we had a quick question. Wendy wants to know if you sell direct into the collegiate market.
We do have a special markets offering, a special markets department that will call on college bookstores and things like that. Essentially, it's anything with a cash register. It's no different than what like Cutter and Buck and things like that have, or Pebble Beach do with their green grass kind of offshoots like that. So yes, there is a special markets team, but they don't call into like corporate accounts or anything like that. In terms of what's selling now, our eco-friendly stuff, this is something that we brought out early in the year and had just a great response on it. These are 3 different pieces that are all made from recycled water bottles as well as polyester. We really sort of thought that this was going to be a huge hit for us, and it has been. We sort of set a goal of, selling enough of these shirts to remove 500,000, I think it was 500,000 water bottles from landfills. We got about 60,000 bottles in, and then everything kind of went away in terms of normalcy in this country. So we do have a polo, men's and ladies. That's our 8061 and 62. That's our VanSport Planet polo. We've also got the VanSport Eureka shirt. And this is kind of shown a different way on our website, where it's all buttoned up and it looks like more of a woven piece, and it's really not intended to be that. This is intended to be more of like a retail, like a layering piece. I always like to show it with a t-shirt. I think it drives home the overall look that this piece is going for. And then the most popular one is the hoodie. That's our Trek hoodie, the 8062 and 63. This thing has sold tremendously well. Again, it's got that nice soft feel to it, a bit of a stretch. We have partnered with, actually, the fabric that this is made from is called Reprieve. This is available at retail as well in certain, I think I saw it at Banana Republic and a couple of other places, and sweaters and things that are just more retail looking. For our industry, we'll consider this another name brand as well, because I'm sure you may get asked for it if people are looking for environmentally friendly things. But we've partnered with 1% for the Planet, which is the tag that comes on there as well. And this is a charity. Think of it like the United Way, where the United Way has a bunch of satellite charities underneath. The specific charity we've partnered with is called Clean Ocean Action, which we go and do beach sweeps, and they pull water bottles and trash and things like that out of the oceans. Since our headquarters is in New Jersey, we thought the proximity of that and what that charity was trying to do was pretty important. So again, great philanthropic message. There is a quantifiable aspect to the water bottle count on each of these pieces. The polo, I think, is worth 7. The hoodie and the button up are between like 10 and 12. So there's definitely something that you can put towards this and say, hey, we pulled 12 water bottles out of the landfills for this kind of piece. So again, definitely a good message. And I think people that like that environmentally friendly stuff really sort of go to that. So in terms of other trends, obviously comfort is the most important thing right now, as we all sit at home in our chairs and our offices or our kitchen tables. Even if you're on Zoom calls, I'm sure we've seen I think it was Good Morning America, where the guy had and then we had basketball shorts on the bottom. I could be wearing basketball shorts right now. You guys have no idea, and that's the good part of the Zoom calls. But obviously, like I said, comfort is king. So the piece I have on is our Riviera polo. We'll start with that. Men's and ladies options here. Definitely more of like that nautical look. There is a bit of a brushed stripe in that, which is sort of hard to see on that. Hopefully you guys can see that on my camera. But the lady styles are definitely things that we are seeing. The polos, especially a little bit more feminine. So you've got the tab sleeves here with the buttons, a more feminine neckline. That's something we've really tried to do over the last couple of years and have had a lot of success with. So comfort, Left chest logos. We have been trying to get people to do crazy logos for the last, decade, different placements, back yoke, on the sleeve, on the hip. And now everybody is demanding left chest because as you sit in a chair and do the things like this, they want that branding right there as well. So that has still been very important for us. Even if you want something a bit more business casual, our button-down shirts this is our Van Sports Sandal, our 1250 and 51. This has got a bit of spandex stretch into it as well. This is just the black version, but it's got a little bit of a gingham check in there. Again, that's really hard to see on the black. The gray and the blue versions, much easier to see that gingham on. But again, definitely more comfortable and lightweight, breathable. A couple of other fashion-forward pieces that we have done this year. The jewel tones have been very popular. Again, the ladies' options with the different necklines. This is our Horizon Polo, our 24, 75, and 76. Just more of a feminine cut with like the princess seams here for the ladies. The men's definitely modeled after more of like an OGO or Travis Mathew piece. You've got the blocking up here on the shoulders, kind of that heathered pattern down here on the back and the chest. But something cool there on the back shoulder, just kind of a different placement for a logo if you do want it for like a golf outing or an event maybe next spring. A couple of other trendy pieces are Baja hoodie. This was one I really wasn't quite sure about when we initially launched it. It's just a bit more retail than I think a lot of our distributors are used to, but it's actually sold very well. And I think what we're in now sort of has something to do with that. So it's got more of like that waffle knit feel to it. It's a little bit more like a 90s retro look, and retro is always in. It's just a matter of what decade is retro at this point. But I do love something different like the patch there on the hip. Anything that is more retail in terms of the product, I think needs to be more retail in terms of the decoration. I think that really kind of drives home what you're trying to achieve with these garments. Again, speaking of retail, very North Face inspired, that's our Denali jacket, our 31, 80, and 81. I think this is a great holiday piece. If you're looking for a gift, again, things that are more retail, this has been great for us. You've got the blocking on the back for the men's and ladies, navy and black available in this. Sort of that cream look on the sleeves, and the rest of the jacket will be consistent across the board. Another sort of a tie-in in terms of decoration on this. Since we are a manufacturer of goods, the first thing we look to is how is this garment going to decorate? Then we'll start to dive into, okay, let's make it fashionable. Let's make this a little bit more retail. This is a great example of that. If any of you guys have tried to decorate on Sherpa before, you know that the consistency is just not there. The first piece could be completely different than number 50 and completely different than number 100. They could all look different. What we have added a pocket there on the chest, a zipper pocket where we can hoop that and make that embroidery super consistent across the board there. So that's just kind of us going the extra mile in terms of design and things like that. Also, again, a great holiday gift. This is a piece that I'll highlight. I know it's been popular with Dale Kleinman in Minnesota, with Kim Schock in Wisconsin. That is our Boulder shirt jacket. We brought out the navy last year, but this is the one that's sort of like that fashionable Carhartt. It's got the pattern on the inside, that canvas, real stiff jacket look on the outside. It's a great piece for, if you want to pair it with a hoodie or a t-shirt, if you want to work outside in it, there's a lot of flexibility here. So one of my favorite items that we do. That's our 73, 40, and 41.
Hey, Jeff, we outfitted our staff in Park City with that jacket last year.
Did you really?
It's a very popular jacket.
Do you guys like that piece?
It's awesome. I still wear mine.
Good. I have 2 of them, and I absolutely love it. Just to highlight a couple of name brands real quickly, and then we'll kind of wrap up with the technology aspect of things. But don't forget, Greg Norman, still one of the top brands in all of golf. We do have some fashion-only pieces that are available at retail, and as well as our line, as well as some more just staple pieces. Greg Norman's really come a long way in the last couple of years, just becoming a bit more fashion-forward. And quite honestly, he had to, with other popular golf brands out there like Travis Mathew and things like that. Greg Norman really needed to step up in the design aspect of things, and I think they have. So if you haven't visited Greg Norman in a while, check that out. Also, Tommy Hilfiger. Again, as we get into the fourth quarter and you're looking for more name brand gift ideas for some employees, I think this is a great one. Just some different designs. We don't have a whole lot of polka dots in this industry. So if you want something that's a bit more retail, I think that's a great option. There's a navy white version of this too, so white polka dots. I'm a big fan of the plaid piece. These are very traditional Tommy Hilfiger pieces, which is a brand that's kind of resurrected over the last couple of years. You've got something a little bit smaller in the check pattern. and then something more true like the gingham style. We've got a chambray and a more standard like Oxford in that line too. Men's and ladies options, although I'll be honest that the it skews a little bit more towards the male side. And then the last brand we'll highlight is Ralph Lauren. Whether it is the more traditional classic cotton piece, an RLX style, which if you are into golf, you'll know that one of the top golfers in the world, Justin Thomas, wears the RLX brand. So it's not just that classic preppy look. I think it's also more of like a athletic, like a golf brand too. So there's a couple different options there. And then the best one is their real chunky, kind of that heavyweight hoodie. So this is a very cool piece, again, for those gift options if you're looking for something different. And we can do like patches and things like that on there too. One thing to note about Ralph Lauren is that we do have to decorate it, and we do have to get approval from Ralph Lauren before we sell it to you guys to give to your end users. They're a little bit picky. I'd stay away from alcohol, tobacco, anything that is maybe not as, I hate to say acceptable, but just kind of watch out when you offer that to a client. Maybe run that through us first. So there are a couple other things I want to show you guys. Can I share my screen, Melissa?
Yep. Just
Okay.
hover in the right corner. Should say present now.
There we go. Got it.
And then just click on the screen you want to present.
Okay. So a couple of things here that you guys will see. I want to show you the mask as well. We do have that, which is one of those necessary evils right here. And this is actually part of that. So I think where our masks come into play, so you can see how it fits on me. I'll kind of get out of this so you can see it again. We do have mask kits. I would not necessarily say that our mask is going to be the best fit possible just with the mask alone. But if you want to do apparel with the mask and they're both decorated, I think that makes a lot of sense. So these are our most popular styles. Definitely good for either casual or when people return to work, I think this is a good option. So keep that in mind as well. Again, I'll send all these flyers over to Melissa, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. And a couple of the other things that we wanted to highlight just finally here, when we're talking about the websites, and I'll show you guys what I mean first. So when I say our candy cane store, this is all Vantage Apparel. We'll get into the other stores where you can use some of the wholesaler goods as well. Let me see here. Can you see that, Melissa? The candy cane store? Okay, so this is that version, and basically this is an offshoot of what our other branded stores are. It's sort of the quick fix for the holidays. We wanted to offer something that had a stock amount of goods on there. Again, these are all Vantage goods, but you can see here that we will put your information over here. It will not be ours. And then when you get into this is where you can really do, again, the single piece offerings. We can batch all of these for the holidays and run them at once, which I think is kind of fun. So everybody, can do can get their gifts all at the same time. But this is just like a typical retail store. We can set different ones up. So if you don't want something that is stock, like the candy cane offering, there are other options, which I'll show you here in just a second. But you have the options to pick your garment color, the different logos here. Obviously, just with this one, it's going to be, this is just the demo store. But if you have 3 or 4 logos, that's no issue. We can set all this up for you guys. Delivery, again, 7 to 10 days. You can see here, we have to have all of these set up, I believe, by I think the first part of November for delivery by the holidays, but it takes about a week to get all this kind of put together. Again, this is the stock version. If you wanted something a little bit more specific where you could pick your different styles and then add some Sanmar Alpha and SNS pieces here, this is our demo branded store. Again, I'll send all this out to you guys so you can play around with it, but there's a bunch of different things here that I think are very cool and useful. This all goes into the AIA merchant account, so you guys would get the money immediately, and then we would invoice you after the products have been run, whether that's individually, once a week, once a month, however we determine that. But I love this aspect of things. I think it's a great way to offer single piece decorated products for, without having a bunch of inventory and things like that. But you can see here how we've done again, just some different options here with the full color thread or like a heat transfer. I think it's a blast. You know, there are some different things that we can do with this too that I won't necessarily get into here. But if you guys can, or if you guys have interest in this, you know, give me a shout, let me know, and we can definitely do some demo stores and things like that for you guys too. And again, the information there is just jeffk@vantageapparel.com. And I think that's all I got for you guys today. So hopefully that was a condensed version of the hour-long spiel that I normally give. Any questions or anything, guys?
Just a couple of people asking for pricing and for copies of the presentation and the slides. So if you could send those to me, I can get them out to the group afterwards.
Absolutely. And I think most of the flyers that I'll send over to you, Melissa, have pricing on them. But if anybody has specific questions or needs higher quantities, we can definitely work through that as well.
Do you have pricing for your contract decorating that you can send me to?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll send it for all 3 facilities as well.
Perfect.
Any other questions or anything?
Other than that, I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. And again, if there's anything you need, all of our sales force is back in some capacity or another. So reach out to your local rep, reach out to me. We're all here to help. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for your time today, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.